Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Lorraine and I am going to be covering in this video Capricorn Sun with Taurus Moon. I'm going to start off the video by describing Capricorn Sun in detail and what a typical Capricorn Sun is like, and then I will be talking about the moon placements and how that probably interacts with the Capricorn Sun. And if there's certain aspects of the Capricorn description that doesn't quite make sense or resonate with you, stay tuned until you hear your moon placement, and then it will probably tie together quite nicely and make a lot of sense. But first, a really quick announcement that I want to make. I'm going to be giving away a free chart reading to one lucky winner of new subscribers to my channel. So stay tuned to the end of the video and I will tell you how you can enter this draw and potentially win, and where I will announce the winner so that you can see if you won. So a typical Capricorn Sun is serious, ambitious, intelligent, and motivated by success and wealth. Not in excess though. So they want to be well off in the sense that they want to be comfortable, they want to be like not stressed about money. And so they're the type of people that will plan for retirement at a really young age. They'll save for retirement, they'll invest in stocks, what have you. They're usually quite motivated by money, but not in an excessive way. They're hard workers, good employees, but most are drawn to financial independence and financial freedom in some capacity. So they're not the kind of people that are happy just working any job. They're not going to be happy working a minimum wage job for most of their life. They're not. They want to move up the ladder and make more money where they can live comfortably. If they're not doing that, they're investing, they're maybe starting a business, what have you. They want to be set financially. Capricorns can kind of come across as know-it-all sometimes. They like to be the best and they are intelligent and stuff, so they can come across a little bit as like a know-it-all. Capricorns are very like straight into the point. They don't beat around the bush. They don't really offer any cool, insightful information. They'll kind of just give you like the blunt truth, and they're not philosophical really is the point I was trying to get to, because there's the big difference, because I was just talking about Sagittarius season last. Capricorns are not like Sagittarius very much. They're very not philosophical, so they're not the kind of one that's willing to entertain ideas like, oh, maybe I could do it this way, or maybe I could do it this way. Be like, no, you just do it. Like, you just do it. Capricorns are very reliable, dependable, and thorough, so they most of the time would rather do something themselves than delegate or have someone else do it. So they can just kind of have a lot of pride in what they do and just don't maybe really trust that other people would do as good of a job with them, which in a lot of cases can be true. So they also like to be prepared and sometimes over prepared. Capricorns are very methodical and diligent planners, and so they're the kind of people that would have a 10-year plan, and they're definitely more big picture than the other two earth signs of Taurus and Virgo. Taurus is definitely very like live in the moment and explore, like just have these daily pleasures of living in the moment, and Virgo is just like very like driven and focused and nitpicky. But Capricorns are a lot more big picture in the way they go about planning things. Like I mentioned, they're saving for retirement at a young age, they're investing, but they're the type to make plans with a laundry list of ways that it might not work or could go wrong. So Capricorns can be quite pessimistic, but they would consider themselves realists, like most pessimists would. Because like I mentioned, they figure out all the ways that things could go wrong, and while those things are true and quite factual, because Capricorns aren't like dramatic in the way they make lists, they're very factual, right? So they're making this list of all the ways these things could go wrong, but it's still like you could also write a list of how it could go right, but Capricorns aren't just really wired that way. So kind of like the glass half full, glass half empty. They're just not very optimistic. They're more pessimistic, but they consider themselves to be realists. Capricorns can also be quite cold. Now, this is definitely a downside when it comes to being social. So Capricorns can struggle socially a bit because they can come across cold, but that's actually what makes them so reliable and level-headed, and why you're able to depend on them in, say, a crisis, right? So, well, they're the kind of people when everyone else is like freaking the out, they're the ones that are very level-headed and calm and collected, and it's because they're able to be very level-headed and reasonable and know what to do when everyone else is freaking out. They also do really desire to be the best. Like I mentioned, they're ambitious, so Capricorns do kind of below the surface. They're definitely not as brazen about it as some of the fire signs that want to be the best, but Capricorns do want to be the best, and that can actually hinder them in some ways because they want to be the best, but they also dislike change, and so that can kind of result in them becoming stagnant. Because it can lead to them rather being a big fish in a small pond and never really expanding anywhere, where it would result in them not being the best. Now I'm going to get to the moon signs. I just wanted to let you know real quick about my Kickstarter campaign that I am about to launch at the end of the month, end of January. So if you're watching this and it's February, then I've already launched. So I will leave a link in the description. This Kickstarter campaign will help support my work with astrology. It'll help me keep uploading more and better content. It will allow me to do this full time. It'll also help me print this beautiful tarot deck that I designed. So check out the link in the description and consider backing it. I have a lot of great reward tiers. If you want to learn more about it, I have a video uploaded on my channel, as well as if it is already launched, then there is a video on the Kickstarter campaign. So I'd really appreciate it if you check it out. That will help me continue making content like this and making stuff even better. So now we get to Taurus Moon. So Taurus is trine Capricorn, so this is a pairing that works really well together in the sense that there's not really anything that is at odds. But that also means there's not really a whole lot that will help Capricorn overcome certain traits, and the Capricorn also won't really help Taurus overcome certain traits. Taurus moons are very chill, and they need stability, security, and routine. They love good food. They're very practical, emotionally stable, and patient, but stubborn. Taurus is known for being quite stubborn, but they are quite a patient placement, and they are very emotionally stable, like I mentioned. They have a lot of perseverance when it comes to getting things done. They're able to just get things done in a very stable, methodical, practical way, much like Capricorn. But Taurus is more of a placement that believes in working smarter, not harder. And they're also more present and live a little more in the moment than Capricorn. They're also slightly more optimistic. They're not as pessimistic as Capricorn, and so it is a little bit more of a positive placement than Capricorn, and is far more sensual and romantic. So this placement may be less likely to write a list of how things could go wrong and why things might be difficult. They are probably more likely to just kind of plow ahead and make a plan that might actually have a more balanced approach to how it could go wrong, but how it could work out, and then taking the steps to actually accomplishing that, like making a practical list of these steps. This is what I have to do, and then checking them off the list. Taurus can have a reputation for being a bit lazy sometimes, and it's because they do really enjoy luxury, good food, staying at home on the couch. So they basically, again, they believe in working smarter, not harder. They are motivated by some of the finer things in life. They want to be comfortable. They're pretty low maintenance, basically, as long as they have good food and just sensual pleasures, then they're happy. So it could be difficult for this pairing with a Capricorn Sun to push themselves outside of their comfort zone in any way. Again, this depends on other placements, but for the most part, this placement would, like this pairing, it would probably have a pretty hard time doing anything outside of their normal everyday routine and doing things that like they need to do. That they're pretty good at, and they are pretty, perseverant, and they're very determined and patient. But they would probably have a hard time pushing themselves outside of their comfort zone and seeking big radical change or pursuing new big endeavors, because if they do any of those, it would be in a very practical, methodical way. But usually any big change requires a risk of some kind and being uncomfortable in some kind, and this is not a pairing that wants that. So it could be really difficult for this pairing to seek any sort of change outside of the life that they've made for themselves. The only way I see this pairing making a change and going after anything bigger or taking risks is if their current situation is really uncomfortable and just not at all what they want. Like, this is a pairing that would never be okay struggling financially or just barely making ends meet. So in that sense, they would probably make big changes and work really hard at finding stability, both financially and emotionally, and just making sure they have a stable home environment and just a stable life. So in order for them to like make changes and go about doing something, their current situation has to be very like uncomfortable to a degree. So they're not kind of the pairing that you would expect to be like, oh, I'm happy with how this is, but there's more out there and I could do even better. If that involves risk or big changes in some kind. So this is a pairing that would definitely struggle with being stagnant. They're the kind of person that would be stuck in a rut, but maybe quite content being stuck there. That said, they are a pairing that would be really stable and just a rock for people. And so if you're ever needing a little dose of learning how to maybe manage money or be patient or have perseverance, this is the kind of person that you would want to. They're also a person that would probably be really great in helping you in any kind of crisis. This is a very, very stable combination that's very level-headed and practical and very patient. So, and then lastly about Taurus moons, they are actually quite possessive of their loved ones, and because they view their loved ones as their security. It's their sense of security and safety, and that is really important to Taurus moons, and just feeling stable and secure, and their loved ones are a part of that. Thank you for watching all the way through. As promised, I am going to be having a draw. Someone can win a free astrology chart reading from myself. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel if you like the content and you like what I'm doing, and then comment below letting me know that you have done so. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to be taking all the names, drawing a name, and I will announce the winner on the video that I will be releasing on January 30th. January 30th, I'm going to be making a transit video talking about all the major astrology transits for the month of February, and at the beginning of that video I will announce the winner of the free chart reading, so stay tuned for that. So that is all I have planned for today's video. I hope you enjoyed my description of this pairing. If you did and you like my YouTube channel and the content that I am making for it, or if you are just a Capricorn that has some change to spare, I would really appreciate if you would check out my Kickstarter campaign. I will leave a link in the description. Like I mentioned, the tarot deck is really beautiful. I'm really proud of it. There's also a lot of other great rewards that you can get if you donate, so at least check it out and I would really appreciate it. If you're not able to afford to donate, then I do understand, but if the project does resonate with you and you do like it, then I would also really appreciate if you'd just be willing to share it with a couple of friends that are into astrology and tarot and see if they are able to either donate or share it as well. That is all. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and take care.